kind of a big week. Start of the World Series. Obviously, not the most exciting matchup that anyone really dreamed of, but two teams that have fought or maybe cheated their way to the top. So,
yeah.
I mean, you got the cheaters and you got the team that went into the playoffs with the worst record of any playoff team.
Yep.
So, yeah, you take that as it comes. Let's talk about the Braves and the Astros a little bit here. What do you expect the outcome of this matchup to be?
I actually think the Braves are going to end up winning. I mean, obviously, they won the game last night, so that certainly helps.
That kind of changed
my case a little bit. But even before that, I just like their pitching more. Their starting pitching. McCullers is obviously been lights out for the Astros for the most part, but beyond McCullers, I don't love anybody in that.
And McCullers isn't even on this roster.
Yeah, so
that's the big one. I mean, he only got to pitch against the White Sox, and that was it.
Exactly. So, I don't love anybody else now. So it's one of those things where, they had to throw Framber Valdez last night, and he didn't pitch all that great. He gave up a home run like 3 pitches into the game. And I just don't love a whole lot who they're going to be running out there at this point.
They got to start Urquidy tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
That's not ideal. That's not what you want in your game 2 starter of the World Series.
Unless he's about to play hero, that's not a good match.
Right. And, those guys have had their moments throughout the year. Obviously, they're where they are for a reason, but that is a weakness on this team. And their pitching as a whole is their biggest weakness. Their offense has buoyed. Their offense and their defense has, their fielding has carried them to this point. They're one of the best fielding teams in their defensive teams in baseball, and that's really helped them out a lot. I just don't really think the matchup now with the Braves offense also kind of matches up pretty well against who the Astros can run out there. They just don't have any guy where it's like, man, we're not going to get much off that guy tonight. Like, I could see the Braves lighting up any one of those starters at this point. I could, they'll probably get a game or two, but I could see the Braves lighting up any of them, and it wouldn't surprise me at all. So I like the Braves.
Yeah, and we'll rank the top 10 players in this World Series from both teams combined. But I ranked all 52, and I put the highest Astros pitcher was Framber Valdez, who didn't have a great game yesterday. I put him at 16. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Braves pitchers ahead of one Astros pitcher.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not ideal. I think it's going to have to come down to the star power in the lineup. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Astros players are experienced. They've all been proven they can hit. Yordan Alvarez is getting hot for them, at least in the offensive side. The future Tiger, Carlos Correa, is probably one of the best players in this World Series. So Jose Altuve's got all the experience. I like the lineup. Michael Brantley had 3 hits yesterday. So he can hit. I don't know if it's going to be, I think, the 3 main starters that the Braves kind of roll out, whether it's Ian Anderson, Fried, Morton.
Morton's out for the rest of the World Series now because he broke his leg yesterday. So
I saw that. I'm surprised how well he did with a broken leg.
Well, yeah, he got 3 outs after he broke it. He was like wincing. So he struck out Jose Altuve and somebody else on a broken leg, which is incredible.
Yeah, I was watching the replay of that, and he watched him because I think the last play of that inning was tossed to first base, and he ran over to cover it. Didn't need to be there, obviously, but that limp. I was like, how do you get the balance on your foot when you're throwing with that velocity? A lot of it is your feet, your stride, your land, your plant.
Yeah, I don't know. On a broken leg, I mean, that would be terrible. That sounds horrible. So
it's like that's as inspiring as like Kurt Schilling bleeding out of his foot.
Yeah, I would say it's much, much worse than Kurt Schilling.
the stitches coming loose.
A lot of that. So stupid.
Yeah, anyway. The bloody sock, the famous bloody sock.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't have much different to say. It's going to be the matchup between, and obviously the Braves have some good hitters too. I don't think their offense quite matches up with the Astros all in all, but
no,
I don't. Can the bullpen step up? Can Ryan Presley and some of the lower guys like Phil Maton and Phil Matone and Yimi Garcia, Brooks Raley. Like, I don't really like Christian Javier. I don't really like a lot of those arms that much out of Houston. They probably put Greinke in as a late bullpen arm too, but even he's kind of been a little shaky late. So,
yep. Yeah, I don't love most of their arms anymore. McCullers is there. He gives them that stopper. That can kind of make sure, one game you can make sure you're going to shut down the other team's offense for the most part. You don't have that right now. So you're going to need some superhuman efforts from guys who I'm not sure really can do that. So,
yeah, the best bullpen. Tyler Matzek's probably been the best reliever in baseball as of late.
Darn near, yep.
And then, other guys jump out, like Luke Jackson's pitched pretty well. Drew Smiley, the former Tiger, and AJ Minter. So, again, some pretty good back. I don't like either of the closers that much. I think, who is it? It's Will Smith, I think, for the Braves.
Yep.
And it's Ryan Presley for the Astros. Both throw hard. I just don't think they're the most reliable closers in baseball. But
I'd agree. I think I don't know. The bullpens don't scare me if I'm either team, but the Braves still is a notch above the Astros. And again, I think pitching carries you to World Series wins, especially when it's this stark of a difference, in my opinion.
I wonder how this shakes out if the White Sox didn't have to face the White Sox killer McCullers twice in that series. This is the only series that's the only series that he pitched in this postseason. And it seems like he's been pretty lights out. So, I don't know, just kind of changes some things. But obviously the Astros still making it without him in the next two. I mean, that's something. But we'll rank the top 10 players here in this World Series. I'll let you go first. Who's the best player in this World Series?
Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman. I mean, obviously he was the reigning National League MVP. Had 31 home runs this year. Hit 300. His postseason on-base percentage is nearly 400, which is insane. I mean, he's Braves' best player. He's best player in this World Series. He's incredible. If you talk to, there's interviews with guys, who's the best hitter you ever faced? Freddie Freeman. A lot of them just say Freddie Freeman. So, I think he's,
for a guy that hits well for average and for power, like just great plate discipline. He's still hard to strike out.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like that at one. I kind of went back and forth with him and this future Tiger, Carlos Correa. Maybe that's a little bit of a homer for me, but I mean, he's just consistent. I mean, he's hitting in the postseason 275, which pretty much is on par with his regular season where he hit about 279. Yep. He's got pop in his bat. He had 26 home runs in the regular season. It just never gets really a full healthy here in the regular season, but when he is healthy, I think he's one of the best players in baseball. So I think
he's incredibly incredible with his defense. I mean, he saves him a lot of runs.
Mm-hmm. So I'm good with putting him here too. I hope he is a future Tiger. Who knows how much he's going to cost for a guy that plays best case 3/4 of your season.
Right.
All right, number 3.
I'm going to go with Austin Riley here.
Okay.
He had 33 home runs, 107 RBIs during the season. He's Gold Glove caliber third baseman. He's probably not going to win it because he's, Arenado's there, and there's a couple other guys that are really good. Hit 303, like I said. Had a huge breakout season. This is what the Braves kind of thought he would be when they first brought him up, and it's finally kind of come to fruition. And couple him, in that lineup with Freddie Freeman, that suddenly gives Freeman all kinds of protection. And you really can't pitch to either of those guys, or you're going to get burned. So, I think he deserves to be easily in this top 5 of these everybody here. But I put him at number 3 right now, just because of how he's playing right now too. He's playing great. So
he's been good. Another guy that's been playing well as of late, and we'll keep our pattern going and picking the Braves. I'll pick Astros. Kyle Tucker, the right fielder, raking in the playoffs, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, hitting 295, whereas in the regular season, again, right on par, hit 294 in the regular season, had 30 home runs, almost 100 RBIs. And he gets 14 stolen bases. Not just solid all around. Has a pretty strong arm there in right field as well. So I like Kyle Tucker here at 4.
He was probably the hottest hitter in baseball the last 2 months of the year, probably, and into the postseason. So I'm gonna go with first pitcher here. I'm gonna go with Max Fried here. He was 7-0 with a 1.43 over his last 11 starts of the regular season. He's the best starter in this World Series, and yeah, I mean, I just think he's a difference maker. Nasty stuff. You know, and he's a horse. He'll go deep into a game, which, you know, with the less than stellar bullpen, that can make a difference. So.
He goes deep. I think he threw 90 pitches and every other game. So that's kind of impressive, but that's when you need your workhorses.
Yeah, when they can bring him back on short rest if they need to, which we'll see. But yeah, I think he deserves to be right here in top 5.
And they'll really need him now with him being the ace with Charlie Morton hurt.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Back to Astros player. I'll go with the Venezuelan second baseman, 31 years old, Jose Altuve.
Yep.
Kind of struggling in the postseason, only hitting 178, but a lot of those 3 of those 8 hits of his are home runs. Yep. So it does have that pop. Regular season, 278, 31 home runs, and a career 308 hitter. So proven really good at second base. So when you mix Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa and middle infield, that's a nice tandem.
Yeah, I think he deserves to be right here. So for sure. I will go with I'm gonna go with Alex Bregman here.
Okay.
He only played like 90 games this year during the regular season because he was hurt. But he still finished with 55 RBIs. You know, and he was an MVP candidate a couple years ago. You know, I think he's still one of the better players on that roster. And could be the best player on that roster at times, depending on how he's playing. Hasn't been amazing this postseason yet, but I think he, you know, talent-wise, he fits in with that lineup. That lineup is deep, and you know, he could provide a spark because they're going to need one now that they're down 1-0, and backs are going to be against the wall with the pitching that they have to put out there. So,
yeah. You went your first Astro. I'll go with my first Brave, and probably one of the hottest hitters in the postseason, Eddie Rosario.
Yeah. Okay.
Hitting 465.
He's probably easily the hottest player in the postseason right now.
Yeah. Hitting 465, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. When he was only a 259 hitter in the regular season, that's still above MLB average. But I don't know. He's just turned 30 years old last month. I think he's been a really good player he's been hot. Like, he's been exactly what the Braves needed when they needed him. And it's really kind of carried them pretty far. I don't know if they have this. Maybe they don't have this run without Eddie Rosario's performance this postseason.
They might not. I am going to go with Yordan Alvarez here.
Okay.
His bat probably deserves him to be higher on this list, but he doesn't play a position, so I find less value in him. But he's one of the better left-handed hitters in the entire league. You know, just incredible. He's just a tough out. Anytime he stands up there, I'm like, man, this guy, I don't. And he hits. He's not like he can be really neutralized by left-handed pitching either. He hits lefties actually historically better than righties, which is stupid. So, yeah, I mean, I think he deserves to be on this list. He's a threat. He's a force. He can win a game by himself because he can just go off like crazy. So he deserves to be in the top 10.
And then I'm put here for 10. I mean, you can go with like 5-6 different guys here, but I'm going to go with Tyler Matzik, the reliever for the Braves. A lot of people are saying he's probably one of the hottest pitchers in the postseason.
Yep.
You know, 12 innings with like a 2.30 ERA in 10 games. Just every time they plug him in there when they really need him to get in like crunch time, if he's in a jam, they put him in. He seems to get out of it. Whether it's getting the hitter to ground into a double play or key strikeout on the inside corner. He paints his corners really well.
Mm-hmm.
So his location's been firing. I had a good 2021 season as well. So I think it's due to get a good lefty pitcher in there on this list. So
he's a weapon out of the bullpen. Like you said, they can put him in pretty much any situation where they're in a tight spot, and he's been pretty darn good. So, and that matters because it doesn't really matter. I mean, we talk about closers, but like, you'll put your best arm in no matter what. I mean, it could be the fourth inning if it makes sense. So,
managers are not afraid to empty their entire pens in these World Series postseason games. Like they need you when they need you. A lot of it's going to be metrics and analytics to kind of who you're matching up with. But it seems like Matzik doesn't matter if there's an analytics with him or not. This postseason, he's been firing every situation he's in.
Yep.